is pretty much the constant, right? We're seeing it banned almost every game where people just really don't know how to play against it with the way that it's like you watched it from here with God Vision. And you're like, wait, the Kazakhs is just running through the jungle. It's like, no, actually, he is right on top of the team. They don't know it. They can't do anything about it. And it gives the information over to the other side. So it's very valuable.
The first time I saw Dardoch face check a brush with 2 people and that had a control ward in it, I was like, okay. This champion's really good. Ezreal is the next ban there from Golden Guardians. Olaf, actually the ban by 100 Thieves, despite the Skarner getting taken away. So still afraid of what's been a pretty good pick so far in the NALCS.
Yeah, but you gotta think Meteos, he's been favoring Sejuani, Jax even, more so than these other picks. Can't always pull out the Zac from his back pocket, but Meteos has that deep champion pool.
Galio is the next ban as well, kind of taking some of that pressure out of High in the mid lane, and Sio on the last ban has also seen a ton of bans today.
Yeah, just don't want to have to deal with it. I like this from 100 Thieves. If they get Cody Sun the Xayah, he is destroying so far in terms of most AD carry statistics. He's #1 in damage per minute at 733. He's 62 damage per minute ahead of the next person in the entire league. He's #1 in percent of his team's damage, but he's also #1 in percent of team's gold share. So they give him a lot of resources, but he delivers with it.
Well, certainly makes sense. Xayah Rakan, a great bot lane for 100 Thieves. Not going to get snatched up just yet. There's a Caitlyn and a Sejuani for contracts, so opting to kind of pick the Caitlyn, try and bully that Xayah, and just take Sejuani away from Meteos.
Yeah, the Sejuani can get the ultimate out of the Xayah really easily with her own ultimate, so it would be a little bit better here than Contracts, who went for, he went for the Volibear before, but I still really don't 100% agree with giving up the Rakan. But if you're blue and you first pick the Xayah because it's up, Rakan without Xayah is definitely less powerful than just Xayah without Rakan.
Yeah, Xayah maybe pretty serviceable on her own, I would say. Rakan not so much. So 100 Thieves play the draft smart. They get both, as Zac also going to join their first 3 picks. So like you said, been playing a lot of Sejuani, but is a legacy Zac player for Meteos, so decides to take that tank instead. So I'd say a pretty even trade on that front. Braum now to Matt, so very robust bot lane here for the Golden Guardians. Definitely and Matt have been having some better performances. We'll see if they can kind of also outperform what's been a surging bot lane from the 100 Thieves side.
Yeah, especially with Aphromoo looking unleashed. He's just been fantastic on the playmakers since they've gone 4-1 in the second half of the split on 100 Thieves. Aphromoo, he played Rakan, Alistar, Blitzcrank, Thresh, and Bard. So far, he's played those 5 unique champions, revisiting the Rakan here today because of the combo, but he's been picking for the situation, and it's been working very frequently for them.
Certainly has. I mean, Aphromoo in the NALCS at least was the guy that really busted out Rakan. It was so good. You made a breakdown about it, actually, when Rakan kind of first entered the league. So certainly a lot of proficiency on that champion. Taliyah, though, the ban from Golden Guardians, seeing a surprising amount of attention today, at least in recent games, but pretty solid, strong champion, so I can kind of run with that. And Orianna actually going to take a comfort pick away from High.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of kind of bans being thrown at the mid lane here. So far, there are 4 that have been thrown down, and I guess you can also kind of consider Sion a flex mid laner. We've seen him a decent amount in Academy. If you're still going there, Azir is another big one. Now it gets tricky. Cassiopeia, Corki are in that next kind of tier down. Wonder if they will go for another ban here on mid.
Yeah, kind of a weird spot as both teams are pinching the same lane and no one has picked a mid laner yet, as everyone matched for jungle plus bot lane in phase 1.
I feel like you don't ban a mid laner here because it just ends up helping. Yeah, go to the other side. Go ban out something in that top lane that could counter what you want to pick.
Well, Camille was the answer, as Lolo has shown kind of some propensity on more of the fighter style champions. Again, we've talked a lot about the shifts in top lane meta, but not all the top laners are falling in line to playing tanks.
Yeah, but also keep in mind just side selection. If they don't pick their mid laner, or they don't pick their top laner here as Golden Guardians, they leave last pick for their top laner, and someday wouldn't be able to counterpick. When he had counterpicked the Camille with the Poppy earlier, so he wouldn't have that opportunity in Champion Select. So I like the Camille ban here, saying there isn't really much we could do if we picked our champion beforehand.
And I guess kind of a nice read on the 100 Thieves side as a result, because mid lane was the pick there out of phase 2 into this one. And mid-com will make another appearance. Cho'Gath top for someday, very safe. So good solid front line now for 100 Thieves. And what does Ryu want into this 1v1?
I would imagine Corki is kind of Ryu's default here, unless he has something up his sleeve. Cassiopeia is the other one, but up against a Karma that can just speed herself up and root you and then have really good gank assistance, I would expect it to be more along the lines of the Corki, but hey! Okay. Cassiopeia still providing a lot of damage.
Fine.
Not as fun.
Cassiopeia for Ryu. I'm upset. Golden Guardians with one more pick.
Why do they do this to us? Like, we would have been fine if you didn't even hover it. It would have just been, oh, okay, Cassiopeia is what he goes for. Showing me the Aurelion Soul. Just Ryu's such a tease.
It's all mind games. Matt, what are you doing? All right, there we go. Misclicked. Tried to click Nara, apparently clicked Ash. There's the Nara, though, back for Lolo. So going to be trying to take the counter pick here in the 1v1 top side and bully Mr. Sunday.
Yeah, the Cho'Gath, pretty neutral pick for him. He'll have a good time in that top lane. Wouldn't be a fantastic time, of course, it does favor the Gnar, but looking at Golden Guardians, very skirmish heavy, a lot of bot lane pressure here. I'm surprised something like the GP didn't come through to further push down that bottom lane, and it would be really good against something like the Cassiopeia. So they decide not to have Lolo pick that up and be a little bit more split push and team fight oriented here.
Yeah, it does feel like, you know, 5v5 or 4-1 situation for Golden Guardians definitely has got a pretty big burden on his shoulders this game to just output so much damage. He's got 2 supports and a really solid tank in the Sejuani to sort of play for him. So definitely has certainly been playing a lot better in recent weeks. The second half of the split overall has been much better for Golden Guardians. I think definitely has been the recipient of a lot of that improvement. But we've seen solo Caitlyn do some pretty nuts things today already.
Well, we've also seen Xayah and Rakan do some pretty nuts
things they've
today.
won a lot of games. So we'll have to see how this one works out. 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians. As 100 Thieves are in a hunt for that playoff spot. There are only 3 left. A win here will claim them the 4th one. Golden Guardians, though, looking to continue their success in the second half of the spring. The team that's been just surprising us ever since the half change. Curious to see what they can get done here.
I mean, almost taking down Cloud9 and beating Echo Fox. Almost having that 2-0 against the top 2 teams. Golden Guardians coming into this week, they have a lot of momentum, and my eyes are specifically on Contracts as well as Matt. Matt, in their first 2 wins, did some really cheeky stuff. The Shen over the wall to help them get a level 1 first blood, and then the next time they ended up going over the wall again, going for a lot of those bot lane flashes with some cheeky plays. I'm watching the level 1 here from Matt in the lane phase, but then from there, Contracts is kind of the guy I have my eyes on.
Well, Braum and level 1 usually goes well together. Matt right now is just kind of hanging out in bot lane. It's actually Cody that's first to that little brush, making sure 100 Thieves fan out and get some vision. Ryu stepping forward, looking for High, but hasn't found him just yet. Looks like everything is pretty calm here in the early stages as the teams file out. And just going to play it slow for the first minute. Someday just... Oh, he was dancing, but Lolo interrupted his party.
It's always great for us because it looks calm to us, but on stage, these players are like, we don't know who's where, and like even Deathly's like, I can't check around this corner as Caitlyn because what if they all walk up at the same time? It happened to Impact level 1 last game. Everybody's really alert at this point. I'm trying to make sure nothing catches them off guard at the very start of the game.
Well, it looks like we'll just kind of consolidate to our jungle starts here. Both red starts, actually. Contracts on the top left of his map. Meteor's here with Cody and Afro. Bottom lane's going to give a super-powered leash here with the Xayah Rakan early W action. No smite necessary. Contracts should be okay also with the permafrost. Did start Talisman, though, not Machete, so perhaps to the Raptors now. I've learned.
Hey.
I've had enough games of Sejuani to know how this works now.
Yeah, I think I talked about it before, where Fleet Footwork was kind of the thing you run on Sejuani before, but with the changes to the tree in the Resolve tree, people really like bone plating. Unflinching is super good for junglers because you're constantly using a summoner spell in your smite offensively. So really just going all the way down the Resolve tree and getting some extra attack speed because now you split Precision and Resolve the bonuses, and then you take Legend Alacrity with your Precision second. So you have a lot of attack speed. You just end up going for the Talisman instead so that you can just clear all your camps and be healthy.
Well, Contract's looking good. As Meteos also just kind of chilling through his jungle. Looks like it's going to be almost a full clear for both. I think the Krugs are up on the 100 Thieves side. Just a little hard to see.
Yeah, this is kind of the worst camp in the game, in my opinion. It's out of your way. Nobody really likes to do it.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Krugs.
Ah, they...
Or Krugs loves who's Irene.
No, they don't.
All right. Contracts takes down the Scuttle Crab.
They live that Krug life. It's a lonely life.
I guess that's what they get. Is Sithwani is going to just soft invade here, looking for, I think, vision more than anything else. Contracts.
He'll go for the Krugs. He'll give them some love.
All right, well.
But he's spotted.
Good ward from 100 Thieves on the bot side. Matt actually already up here. It's like, all right, I will protect you, sir. Contract says thank you. And probably just a trade as Meteos is already off to that side as well.
Yeah, because it's the camp that people pretty much don't take in their first jungle route on their own side.
It's the best one to steal.
It's the best one to go for because you're like, this is always up, 100%. And so, yeah, they just trade it so out of the way.
Now I'm ready for like some really like Galaxy Brain level like start Krugs camp for jungle. You're just going to bamboozle the crap out of them. It's probably not good, but at least you'll surprise them as Meteos takes his camp down nice and easily. Someday with the early push pressure makes that even safer.
Only time I think it's actually good is if you're playing Rek'Sai, you start red side, you go red, you can clear your Raptors easily, go and then finish off the Krugs. That's 3 camps, get you level 3, you back, buy, and then you're out on the map. But look at this.
Oh, what a knocker from Meteos! First blood!
He didn't even get a chance to flash.
I barely got a chance to cast it.
I know, I'm sorry about that one. That was me.
Totally fine. Meteos there. We saw his career win rate on Zach. It's something. I think he has 3 losses. It
was like 14-3.
Yeah, pretty good. And this is kind of why.
Superstar jungler coming in, silenced. Hand flash during the silence, and he gets knocked up immediately after. So Meteos flies right in. That is the 2nd rank of the E. So it's not even that long of a distance, but it's still Fog of War, and it's enough to jump on Lorlo.
Certainly was enough to take down the Gnar. Lorlo will TP back to the lane and hold onto his flash for potential additional attempts.
And remember, this is the counter pick that Golden Guardian set up. They picked this Gnar into the Cho'Gath, and he has 15 CS up right now on Someday's side of it. And Someday is just looking like a monster so far after that gank.
Yeah, Cho'Gath is one of those champions where you're like, he's not going to do anything. It's just a tank, and then he kills you.
Well, it's like you can't do anything to him, and so he actually does almost nothing to you, but it's almost nothing, not nothing. And so nothing against almost nothing just slowly chips you out of lane and ends up getting you an advantage.
I can follow that. That makes sense to me as Lolo can last hit under the turret, has returned with a Doran's shield.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want. TP from Someday. He's trying to make a play onto high here.
Very sneaky, but maybe too sneaky.
But it's weird too because High should be playing to that top left side because Zach is on the bottom side and Sejuani is there too. So it could be like a 3-man. That's so interesting how that ended up panning out.
Kind of when you think too many levels ahead and maybe he needs to go down a couple. Someday, I mean, I like the attempt. I think really smart stuff from Someday, but High, you know, playing safe, maybe feeling some of the pressure. Ryu did get a nice trade-off, and High just goes back, gets a tier, and kind of walk himself back to mid lane. In fact, uses the TP that he is taking in this matchup. My eyes went out from Ryu. Ulti actually used. He's going to just try and get some trade damage down High. That was tough stuff.
Yeah.
He TP's back to lane and almost dies.
I believe he hit level 6 as the TP was coming through, and so you get that presence of mind. People are taking that as that rune from the precision tree. It's why we see it secondary and mid. So the TP comes through. He's like, okay, I guess I'll just throw out this ultimate. I'll throw out a ton of damage. So the presence of mind is all about just throwing and dumping as much mana as you can.
And given that Cassio is primarily mana gated and not cooldown gated, makes a lot of sense. So
Exactly.
Ryu kind of using the best of his cooldowns there and forcing High, at least to take some damage, not back just yet. As Ryu also wants to go back and spend his gold, get his tier stacking up sooner rather than later. Contracts, though, down here on the bottom side as junglers are trading scuttles. Meteos, thanks to that first blood, actually already level 6.
Yeah, so he'll have that less bounce, and he's going towards the top side again. Once again, Lorlo, he's stabilized a bit in this matchup. This is interesting, though, because it would just be jungler versus jungler. Contract sees the ward.
Yep, now knows that something's up. Gonna see the red buff he pulled away, and Contract says, I don't think so.
Yeah. His lanes don't have priority on Meteos' side, so he does have to back up. If you end up still going for that, you get collapsed on first. And that's one of those games where you just type, where's my team? And you weren't watching the minimap yourself.
Not there is the answer to that question.
You had to make, exactly. You had to make sure that your lanes are winning or closer. They'd be able to reinforce you faster. So Meteos, he does get the information of where Contracts is. But Contracts is very close to level 6 here. It might just go across the map. Yeah, he's going to cut through mid, and I think they might go for the enemy red.
He's like, give me this cannon. I need some XP.
Give me level 6. There, boom.
He hits it.
Yeah, they're going for this invade here.
All right, so we're going to look for something here on Across map red, like you mentioned, Matt and Contracts teaming up. Pretty potent.
Yeah, it's because Ryu backed, so they have the Karma that would reinforce them, but it still looks like Hai is just clearing that mid wave. It resets, and now Ryu is here. So time is out. It's a 3-on-3.
It's a little bit spooky, but it looks at things. No, Contract's going to leap in, find Afro. Here's Meteos, but doesn't complete the stretching strike.
Here comes the Caitlyn, so it would be a reinforcement from Golden Guardians faster.
No TPs either, so first to the player, Golden Guardian's going to try and force down this red. Meteos charging it back up. He goes in. The red buff goes over to GG's. But there's actually a flip back in. Looks like too much damage. Contract's actually pulled to the front side. Now Cody's here. Just collects a kill over the wall. Golden Guardian's a little too aggressive there.
Yeah, guess Cody's got to keep that high kill participation, right? Gets him that kill, but that was one where it took so long for Golden Guardians to actually just pull the trigger on that. Ryu shows up, and then Meteos does a fantastic job. He says, screw this, I'm not a part of this. Goes over the wall here, and this is where he charges in Fog of War to try and get as many people as possible. Jumps in, gets Contracts, channels the ulti, the stun comes through, and so there's no way the Contracts gets out of that, and they just pull him back. He's like, all right, you got the red buff, we got the red buff.
Well, super nice ulti there from Ryu. Again, looking good here on the Casio, and with the Catalyst now completed, and well, it's not really a big CS lead, but certainly a pressure lead here. Red buff probably helping out. See if Hai can, again, keep things up and just retain some pressure. Ideally, he's just shoving these waves and walking away, but Ryu certainly first to a lot of these waves, forcing Hai to see under the turret for now.
It looks like a different build from Hai as well. I don't remember Jensen buying the tier. I remember him going for the Luden's Echo. So this Karma is actually going to be focusing more on the Seraph's Embrace build and the Archangel Staff to have that CDR as opposed to the wave clear of the Ludens.
It is tough to fault mid laners for taking Archangels at this juncture.
They're so good. Both those items are incredibly good.
But certainly a divergence. See what else Hai kind of plans on building. Ryu, of course, doing what's expected. This build was good before in Casio. It's even better now that they got buffed. So Ryu playing with that pressure. Got the blue, has double buffs now. Hai also with his blue, so likely able to match in wave clear at least a little. But those first 3 kills for 100 Thieves. Meteos just set things up so well on this Zac.
Yeah.
Now trying something again here in mid.
He does have the level 7, so long range.
All right, gets one, looks for a minion back. Does get a mini root. Great miasma from Ryu, but no follow-up.
Yeah, and they say, all right, we can only spend a few seconds there. They see Contracts with that ward, and that's why they back off. They don't want to have that 2-on-2.
Things still kind of chill at this juncture of the game. Definitely and Matt have done pretty well, actually. Haven't seen too much of this bot lane, but a CS lead for Caitlyn is nice. Carl also here for Deathly, so kind of realizing that this lane's not going to have too much pressure applied to it. Looks like junglers aren't really interested in coming down too often as Hai and Ryu, again, doing battle, but Ryu winning these trades pretty handily.
Yeah, pick the Cassiopeia into it, and he's actually having a really good time here. The phase rush helps him a lot against the Karma. In this bottom lane, so far, not much has happened, but Afro going to take it in his own hands.
Yeah, there's the recombo. Gets 2 with the knock-up. The damage already landing onto Deathly. Cody is going to keep charging forward. Glacial Fissure dodged, I believe, by Cody, as Deathly just goes down. Now the chase is on Meteos. Long-range slingshot's going to try and find Matt. Gets the root down. The damage still there. An additional root there as the feathers pull through. 100 Thieves almost get 2 there.
Yeah, that was sick from Cody-san. Cody-san uses his ultimate to dodge Matt, but at the same time, Deathly, he ends up using the Caitlyn net the wrong way, and so he's dead to rights right after that.
Tough stuff, and the turret gold's not going to make it any easier. Cody-san continuing to stockpile advantages.
Yeah, this was the lane that they drafted the Caitlyn for and to try and have some pressure, but it just got completely reversed by that play from Afromove. We saw just the damage there that comes out from the Xayah Rakan. This is why people are trying to separate these lovers, to try to separate this bottom lane. But this was great. The shield doesn't come up in time on the other side of him, and definitely nets the wrong way. But still, Cody-san outplays there with his own ultimate. So even if that hadn't have gone in kind of a bad way and a fumble there for Cody-san, I still think, or for Deathly, I still think he's dead because Cody-san's dodge, and they both would have just blown flashes.
Yeah, I have to think so as well. So well played by Cody and Afro, continuing a streak of recent success we saw earlier. We mentioned it at the top of this game. 100 Thieves will lock playoffs with a win. Unfortunately for Golden Guardians, they will be eliminated from playoff contention here with a loss. So even though the team has done very well to kind of pick things back up, we'll only be playing for pride in the back half of the spring if they cannot find a win here. So pretty high tension game for these two teams.
Well, pride and also improvement for Golden Guardians, because So the team, a lot of criticism about the ability or the skill level. Hold on high, though.
Good flash. Meteos will just come back for that one in a second.
I feel like Meteos has something personal against High. Something must have happened back in the Cloud9 days. I think it's over blue buff. It's always over blue buff for Meteos. It's like High wanted the second blue buff. Nope.
I feel that.
Oh, wait, no, I know what it was. It was Locket. Who builds Locket? It was like, is it the jungler's job? Is it the support's job?
Oh, well, some things never die. Meteos, I mean, applying the right pressure, I think, all jokes aside, but certainly has been all over Golden Guardians, especially in the top and mid lane. And again, this pressure is continuing to cascade.
No.
Somebody's like, hello, oh, actually once Contract's hit dead, Contract's like, what do I do? Guys, silence, Lolo in, but Bloodscone's over, the long, slow way around, but I think it might just be enough. A flash out from Someday, now going to run back into Contract. Afro is here, they finish off the Rift Herald, but Someday goes down, collapse from GG's does net them a kill.
Yeah, they end up having everybody up there. Matt is up there, and in the meantime, Cody-san clears multiple waves, pushes it to the tier 2 turret, and the Rift Herald goes over to 100 Thieves.
It's a head scratcher in some ways.
I mean, he was starting it, and then Someday shows up.
I saw what was happening.
It was like, okay, I gotta threaten him instead of keep doing the Rift Herald, but they just show up. Now 100 Thieves. Onto that mid turret.
Usually we see the bot lane party. Bot lane to Avatar is already dead, so instead it's a Rift Herald party.
And now a Rift Herald would kill this turret, so if Meteos wants to throw it down later in the future, it would be a quick take.
Meteos strikes me as the kind of man that will hold on to his empowered recall. Maybe a longer time.
I do miss holding on to the empowered recall of the old Rift Herald buff. The one that made you move around a little bit faster on the map. That one was nice.
Well, Meteos, we'll see how long he does hold on to it for, but certainly simple use should give 100 Thieves yet another turret here in this game.
Well, right now, 100 Thieves, they have tempo. They get to the top lane earlier. There's nobody answering that is ranged and would be able to clear the wave, so this might just be the turret going over.
Yep, no one here to answer. It's just Lolo, and the rest of Golden Guardians are on the bottom half of the map. So Cody and Afro continuing their success here in this game. Get the wins down the bot side, take the turret, make it 2. Cody-san claims even more gold for himself, getting so strong in such a short period of time. Going back now with 1,600 more gold to spend.
See what he ends up picking up. Zeal, I would assume. Okay, Zeal, some daggers, going for an attack speed item afterwards. Of course, after that, he'll go for the Infinity Edge. Really good on Xayah because you think about what a Zeal gives you. It gives you crit, gives you movement speed, and it gives you attack speed. And the Xayah W already gives you attack speed, and it gives you movement speed. And so if you just buy IE, you have more attack damage, and you have crit, which you would have had anyway. So going for another BF sword item as your third item makes a lot of sense on Xayah.
Definitely does, as Meteos does look for something, but not quite able to find contracts. Definitely trying to reverse this wave as much as he can, but we talk about the general Caitlyn problem of being slow to ramp up once her kind of dominant lane phase is over. Definitely still ahead in CS, at least for now. Cody should correct that in a short moment, but definitely has only just finished his Infinity Edge, and now the kind of slow, where do I get farm game kind of starts for him.
Yeah, and if you end up with waves that you shouldn't actually be farming, you get caught out. Things like the Rakan will come out and end up CCing you, and that's really what you have to watch out for when you're trying to pick up farm on side lanes, because it's Caitlyn by herself on top. You have to have top control, and Meteos actually does get the ultimate, or if not the ultimate, the Rift Herald off.
That was a really nice attempt from Contract. I believe he saw the channel in fog and just threw the ult trying to interrupt it, but...
Yeah, he threw it, but it was soaked by Afro.
Yep. So good play on both sides. Afro able to block that off, and they take the outer turret with Shelly as a result. Assault continues. They might even get 2. Golden Guardians a little slow to respond. They don't have Deathly. Afro are going to threaten Contract. He's forced to Arctic Assault away. And just like that, that's 2 turrets for 100 Thieves in the mid lane.
Yeah, they just get 2 very quickly. So that Rift Herald means a lot. It was one that was started up by Contracts, but now it's just completely crushed the mid lane, and that will give so much pressure to 100 Thieves to get these tier 2s on the outer sides.
Well, it looks like, again, the gold lead just starting to get a little out of hand here for 100 Thieves, up 6,000 or so. Another Drake on the way. They got the first Ocean Infernal up in a minute 40 for them to grab. Rapid Fire Cannon now done for Cody. Already kind of completed that first Zeal item, and 2 items also for Ryu, stacking up the tier component of that Archangels trying to turn it into Seraphs.
We saw about like 20 plus minutes is when it came in before. Right now, Ryu, he's at 530 in bonus mana. And then High is actually at 704, so High is very close to actually converting his over.
Yep, got his tier earlier, I think, might have been the reason why. Not exactly remember, but we'll worry about it at another date. Instead, this is what Golden Guardians have to worry about. The strength of this bot lane, Cody and Afromu, is continuing to apply pressure in that top lane and threaten yet another turret.
Yeah, you're right, he did get the tier earlier. It was when he TP'd back level 5 and then got chunked out because of the Casio. So yeah.
It was all worth it. He's going to get the Archangels
Boom,
first.
there it is, comes through.
Definitely is like, and this is kind of what you were saying. I mean, this is the problem for Definitely. He pushes all the way down this long lane. He sees the Cho'Gath and he's like, well, I can't see anybody else. I just cannot sit here and farm these waves until they come back to me. So there's a huge amount of time that Definitely has to kind of waste just walking back and forth between them, trying to get this farm. It will take him quite a while to outpace Cody, who's been involved in almost every kill, sitting with 3 himself so far.
Exactly, and Cody right now, he's up about 1,600 gold over Deathly. And that's that rapid fire cannon completion and then some. So we're looking at about a half item advantage already for Cody-san, who loves to play for that late game. But 100 Thieves, remember, a lot of their wins during the early part of the split was off of late game kind of turning it around. They didn't have kind of even games, right? And then they hit this streak where they lost 4 games in a row right before the first half was over. And that was off of, they were just getting crushed early. Now in this second half of the split, they found Afromu on playmakers, pulling the trigger in lane, pulling the trigger on fights is really what has been netting them early game leads and then converting.
And I think this game, again, we're talking about junglers really show presence. Meteos had a ton of early activity in this game to kind of get things going on the top half, and then Afromu took care of that bot lane as he almost always does. This is a hyper-accelerated game for 100 Thieves, who have 5 turrets to 1, excuse me, Lolo took 1, and they did grab that Infernal Drake as well. So just all the advantages piling against the Golden Guardians right now. And
I feel like what's going to happen next is 100 Thieves will look for Baron control. They have a Cho'Gath. They're very close to that Cho'Gath having Banner of Command, and then they're looking to try and make that happen. They have a Fed AD carry. You can go ahead and set this up. If you get vision control, you can look for some picks, but I feel like at that point, you can potentially just rush the Baron and play around that objective.
And all these things kind of point to signs of a team that have learned pretty quickly how to close out games when they have a lead. They built this lead. They're looking to just completely bust open, really end the game with an early Baron potentially.
Yeah, but you think about all these veterans on this team of 100 Thieves, where everybody has different ways that they really want to close the game, and especially people who are shot callers, Afromu, Meteos, etc. Even Ryu has the way that he wants to play the game from the mid lane and what he wants to do with resources. So 100 Thieves, the challenge was trying to figure that out. Frawley had an interview with Travis Gafford where he talked about, hey, everything was kind of up in the air. We didn't know exactly how we wanted to play the game, and getting everybody aligned was very important for them. And it seems like Afromu is kind of the person still leading that charge, with everybody else kind of following behind now.
Well, it's clearly been working out well for them. 100 Thieves continuing to find success here and looking to just push their lead even further forward, try and close this game out. Golden Guardians going to look to defend, but Caitlyn needs a little bit more, or a lot more actually, to kind of hold on. Definitely now with 2 items, so Static Shiv will at least make the farming side of things easier. It's just kind of a matter of, we don't have any vision control. How do we possibly contest for this Baron? Oh, this is how.
Well, definitely went back, so now they're going to TP Someday in. He's got the Feast. They say this isn't a 50-50.
Contract goes in, he's going to try and steal it, but he's going to get knocked up. There's the Feast out from Someday. Contract goes down as well. Someday grabs the double.
Yep, you just got to force it down. They end up getting that kill, and they end up getting that Baron on top of it. So yeah, a double, with the Baron being one of them.
Yeah, you got 2. Got Contract and the Baron. Exactly what you want as a Cho'Gath, as Lolo will split push down yet another turret. He's got a good CS lead here versus Someday, but Someday has a Baron and a banner.
Exactly, he has that banner now. Oh, it gets so low. It gets down to about 100. Looked like Someday didn't end up eating any of the CC there, and that would have been key. Because then it really does become a bit up in the air. It looks like Someday ate kind of the residual of the Glacial Fissure as opposed to the main knock-up in the middle. It looks like actually he did not get knocked up at all, so just barely missing him.
What's the reverse of a mullet haircut? Because that's what it is. That's the Sejuani. It's business in the front, all front loaded, then the back it's like, whatever.
I was like, is it a buzz down the center?
That's a question we'll have to answer perhaps another day, as Someday does flash away from the setup there by Golden Guardians. Again, I mean, just hiding in brushes, trying to find a pick, delaying this Baron push for as long as they can, but Someday still trying to find immunity to Baron up, and Ryu's already gotten the minion wave push towards this mid turret.
The banner was used.
Yep, we'll be fine. We'll find that cannon.
Yep, it's coming down in that bottom side.
I wish it made some sort of like charging sound. You know that image of the guy in the tank with holding his sword out? Always like, let me get them closer and hit them with my sword. That's what I feel like the Baron cannon thinks about when it's approaching the turret.
Oh, it got blocked by Braum. Hey!
And Matt's like, okay, I can't do that for much longer as the turret falls down. Baron cannon claiming many a structure today.
Freak, teacher Freak teaching the crowd.
I think the crowd can go above 8 though, let's be honest.
How many licks it takes to get to the center of an inhibitor? Apparently 5.
All right, well, I'm glad we're learning things today, but inhibitor down there on the bot side for Golden Guardians, and 100 Thieves are not done. They've still got a lot left. Afromu straight in with a combo. Rupture follows up the 3-man knockup. Meteor tries to make it yet another, but Ryu just takes down deftly. Matt is already dead as the Golden Guardians bot lane disintegrates after that.
And they might push for the win here. 100 Thieves, this would be a super fast game.
Gonna go straight forward here. 100 Thieves gonna try and really up that closing speed. Cody's son unstoppable, and deservedly so as Contrace gets taken down by Sunday's Feast. Inhibitor falls in mid-side. 100 Thieves gonna go straight forward into playoffs.
Another disgusting game from 100 Thieves. This is taking care of business here from all of them.
You thought the Baron was just gonna slowly end the game. Afro says, I don't think so. Into the fountain we go. Meteos is taking the laser. Sunday's trying to get the structures down. 100 Thieves. An early celebration, but one deserved nonetheless, as Deftly does take down Meteors, but the next is exposed. The TPs will come in, and 100 Thieves, congratulations, you are now in playoffs.
And very deservedly so. Right now, 5-1 in the second half of the split. They have just been crushing it. They beat Cloud9, they beat TSM, and really, they just have to worry about Clutch and Fox in terms of those top of the team standings. But they've locked in that playoff spot, and now they're focusing on what they're gonna look like in that postseason.
Deserved and decisive from 100 Thieves. That game ended in under 25 minutes. Thanks to a quick initiation by Afromu, who just said, you know what? This gold lead's so massive, we're pretty sure we can end the game here.
And that was an issue for 100 Thieves before. They'd get behind, they'd try some things out, weren't completely set up in terms of the shot calling. Now they look very clean. The criticisms that we had of 100 Thieves early on, where they didn't really look completely like contenders for #1, they've all been kind of silenced now.
And again, Afro was kind of the guy we expected to rally the team, and he has done so, but I cannot pour more praise for Cody's son, who's just looked so good. But we are going to send it over to Overly and the Green Menace in the jungle for 100 Thieves.
Thanks, guys. Meteos, congratulations. With this victory, 100 Thieves has been locked in for playoffs. How does it feel knowing that you guys have secured a space?
It definitely feels good. I wasn't super worried about not making it because we only needed to win like one out of our next 4. And if we lost them all, that'd probably be a problem in itself. But definitely takes a little bit of weight off our shoulders knowing we're in playoffs, so I'm pretty happy about it.
What were your thoughts coming into this match? Because the last time you faced Golden Guardians, they were able to pick up their first win against you.
Yeah, I don't think we were playing too well back then, but we definitely have been doing better lately, and I was just hoping we could do all the stuff we practiced, and I thought we played a really good game today.